So I opened my laptop and I noticed that my battery is swelling. As you can see, over here is a little flat, and here you have two battery, areas that are getting swollen. And here we have four batteries actually, all compacted in one for the laptop. So I think what you need to do exactly when you notice that your battery is swelling is normally replacement, because it's easier to replace than to actually try to repair. Because for example, if you have a swollen battery in your laptop and you want to repair, if you don't understand the technical or electrical aspect of repairing it, I think it will definitely go to a portion of exploding in your hands or in the laptop as well. Don't try to short circuit it. Don't try to reduce the number of batteries in it that are already built in. I mean, trying to short circuit, removing the two swollen ones, thinking it will work. It will definitely not come on, because all the battery portions there are all set up with the right amount of amp and volts needed to charge up the laptop and to keep it on fire as well. Now, what you need to do is, I think, leave it opened. Make sure you check if it's maybe a little bit hot. If it's not hot, try to close it again. That is if it's not giving you any other problem. And if you never noticed that it was swelling, meaning you just try to open it and you notice that there's a swollen part without you noticing that initially, then just try your best to close it back without doing any other stuff on it, and make sure everything is well connected, because you shouldn't have removed any part of it, and close it very well with your Phillips screwdriver. If possible, you can also try and replace, because replacement is the best. Trying to buy the same parts of the same model or battery as specified by the manufacturer. But I think what I need to do, because for me the battery is actually performing very well. It has the right amount of charge that it actually came with. It's not having a depreciation percentage here. I'm actually having a very good amount of battery power, and it stays up very long, very well. And so I'm just noticing that this swelling might have been caused by overheating. So another thing might be for us to make sure that we have the right amount of airflow, at the back of the laptops, making sure that these vents are well cleaned regularly, so that your laptop can have enough airflow. And these reduced notebooks are very, very difficult to have airflow, because most of them, even the fans they come with are very small. So you can't, in fact, it's not enough to make sure that the laptop is not hot, because you can normally hear a very high amount of airflow at heat. I mean, the heat sink here are not enough for the heat to be reduced, because it's very compacted, and the laptops, when sealed, it's very small and very tight. So you could notice that the vents are not enough for the heat to come out. And if you can also take a very close look at this, you can notice that the heat here has actually burnt down the color of the vent, and you can see a little bit of a burn there, and that shows you that it's not having enough airflow. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make sure I reduce the number of hours that the laptop is working for, making sure that if I'm using it for like 12 hours a day, I'll try to be using it lesser than 12 hours a day, maybe 6 or 8 hours a day now, or making sure that I have the laptop used in a very cool environment, making sure it's maybe in a safe area, like where the air conditioning unit is, or where the fan is possibly reaching it. And at the same time, also making sure that the laptop is not placed in a very tight area, maybe on a bed, because most of us like using our laptops on the bed. Now, when the laptop is on the bed, it actually stops airflow, and that will definitely cause problems like this, making the batteries to heat up and get swollen. And when your battery is overheated, it definitely will swell up, and when it does swell up, in a period of time, it might explode and causing you to lose your SSD drive, storage drive, or even making sure you actually lose your RAM and all electrical components that are at the back of the motherboard. And that's very dangerous, even maybe reaching to the point of you also losing your screen, because if it's a big explosion, you know how batteries can behave. If it's a big explosion or a bigger explosion, it can definitely affect the screen. So I'm going to make sure I'll actually now be checking the batteries regularly, because I check this about or 4 months ago, it was really as flat as this. I actually didn't check the battery. I was trying to replace the RAM module here from 8 to 16 gigabytes. Now I noticed that it has this swollen problem. So it actually is operating very well. So I just need to be making sure enough heat is escaped and enough airflow is being supplied into the system. But another thing I'll have to do again is making sure that the fan is working very well, the heat sinks are also operating very well, and at the same time the batteries are well placed. Water is also avoided, because when water infiltrates into your motherboard, even if you wipe it off, it can cause some big problems. So that's that.